Okay, guys, in this video, I'm going to show you how to create this smoke effect in this tutorial. So let's go ahead and get started. Here is our final result. So it's a pretty cool effect here. In the layers here, you can see all the different things that I've done to create the effect. Let me slide that open. So let's go ahead and let's get into this. Let's start with the picture. So here is the original picture that we found in the tutorial. And so what we can do, let's go ahead and unlock this layer. And then I'm going to go edit, transform, flip horizontal, so we're switching that direction. Now let's go ahead and go to, what we want to do is remove her from the background. So let's go to select subject. And let's see how well Photoshop can do at removing her from the background. So give it a second. The AI is going through there, and look at what a nice job it's done. So let's just go ahead and add a layer mask. Okay, so nice. The next thing that we want to do, let's go ahead and add a new layer. So we're just going to click right there. Let's take this layer and drag it below her. So what we're going to do is go over to our gradient tool. So go ahead and click on the gradient tool. Then go down to, now we have our black and white, our foreground and our background. Click on the black, and let's put that at about right in the middle there, and about a 50% gray, maybe a little bit darker. You can kind of experiment a little bit. Okay, so then we have a gray to a white, and if your default is on the linear there, set it to the radial, and then we're just going to click and drag and create. That's not what I was wanting. Let me click on the reverse and let's see how that works. Okay, so that's a little bit more of the effect I was going for. Let me try again. You can play around here, so you get the effect that you're looking for. I may even come back and adjust that. So, all right, next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go to our adjustment layers, and we're going to add a gradient map. Oh, let's move that up above her. So we're going to add this gradient map. Now, depending on the photograph that you're using, if this is giving a really weird effect, just don't use it. But if it does a nice effect, then go with it. And then we're going to also go down here and add a black and white layer. And so with this black and white one, what we want to do is change the blend mode to soft light. So let's go over here to normal, and we're going to set it on soft light, and then we're going to go to the opacity, and we're going to put it at about 50%. Okay, so it's kind of the effect I'm looking for. Now, what is the next thing that we're going to do? Okay, so now what we want to do is, so we've applied this layer mask. If I was to hold shift and turn the layer mask off, we still have the background. So this is a little bit of a new technique. On the layer mask itself, I want you to is it a right click? No, it's a left click. So left click on that. Let me just kind of show you again. So we want to be on this layer mask, and you're going to left click on your mouse, and we want to apply the layer mask. Okay, so what that does is now you'll see that she's there, and then the background is transparent. So that's the effect that we want to do. And then now here's another new little trick. On your keyboard, press Alt. Okay, so you'll see I'm pressing down on the Alt key, and then I'm going to add a layer mask. And what it does is it adds a black layer mask. And so she is gone. Now, let me just go back a step and show you what happens if you don't hold Alt. So let me go back, Control Z. So we've gone, if I just go ahead and click on the layer mask, you still see her. So just a reminder there, go back a step, hold Alt, and do your layer mask. And then it hides everything. Okay, so at this point, we can let's go get the brushes. So I have the brushes here. I'm just going to click on the file. The file type is a ABR file, and when you click on it, you're not going to notice. It's going to seem like nothing happened. But let me go over here to my brushes. I'm going to click on my arrow down. Let me kind of go through here. So I've got a couple different brushes. I got these birds. It's going to show up at the very bottom. So if you scroll all the way down, you'll see that you've got these smoke brushes, and you can see I have them a couple different times here. So just hit that little arrow and then scroll down, and you'll start to see that we've got these brushes here. So now one of the things that we can do here, let me go to my tools, is well, while we're on this layer mask, I can go up here to the properties and I can bring the density down a little bit. So if I bring that down, then we start to see her, and we see where she's at. So all right, let's go back to our brush. And now the direction that she's at and the direction of our brush don't really match up. We want the smoke to appear like it's going this direction. So what now some of you are able to do this, some of you are not able to do that. If I press the letter R, I can actually rotate the image around, but I was finding that not everybody was able to do that. So let me show you some alternative ways. If you go up to your window and you click on brush settings, we'll get this pop up for the brush. So let me go back to my brush, and if I go right here, I can change the direction of the brush. So this is a really convenient thing. And maybe that brush is a little bit too big right now. I'm using my square brackets to make it smaller, or I could be adjusting the size right here. So I like to do the square brackets because I can see it right there. And then I'm just going to start clicking. Let's see what happened there. Nothing happened. Did I do something wrong? Oh, let me flip over my, okay. All right, so I need my foreground color to be white, and we're starting to get the brush effect on her. Now, I'm not gonna go crazy with this brush because I wanna do, I wanna do a brush and then adjust the angle. I don't wanna overdo it, and I also have different brush types. When I have this up here, I can scroll down to the bottom, and you can see that you can go to your different brush types. There's slightly different variations of the smoke. Whoop, small. Okay, so brackets, making that bigger. Okay, I'm just going to keep rotating this. Okay, so let me bring the density all the way back up. Okay, so you can see what we have there. Okay, so we're seeing a little bit of her face. Now let's go and get a regular size brush, a soft brush. If we bring that density back down, we can see where her face is. Let's fill in where her face is. So let's go right here. I'm going to bring the density all the way up there so I can kind of preview. And I'm just going to start bringing her face. I want to bring her face in, and her eyes, her forehead. I want to see a little bit of our subject matter. Okay, I'm going to take away the chin. So if I just flip that color. Okay, and let me go to my move tool. Let's move this brush out of the way. And we're going to go and rotate her a little bit. So we can go ahead and rotate it, head, and then position herself like that. So, okay. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Now, let me close this, and let's go on to the next step that I will show you. So we're going to take this layer. Oh, wait. Hold on. Okay. All right. So we're back. I almost thought I screwed up. I didn't screw up. So the next step we need to do here, let's duplicate this. Let's take this and drag it down here. Let's duplicate it. Now, let me take a look at what we need to do here. Now we're going to actually go and delete this mask. So we're just going to drag this mask to the trash. It's going to ask if you want to delete it or if you want to apply. We do not want to apply. We just want to delete it. Okay, so now we've got her there. Perfect. So now we're going to take this and we're going to drag this up to the top. And now what we want to do is, so now we're going to apply we're going to liquefy this. What is that, liquefy? Well, let's go up here to filter, and we're going to go to liquefy. Okay, and then it's going to pop up this filter. We can do lots of things here with liquefy. So if you hover over here, it shows you these different things. first thing we want to do is we want to go to the freeze. We want to freeze her face. So what we want is for her face to not get distorted. So we're going to drag this red brush, and that shows you, the areas that we're freezing. Okay, so we're freezing that part. Then we're going to go over here to the, let me hover over them again. Now we're going to go to the forward warp tool. Now check this out. We're just going to start, sorry, I'm going to mess up our hair. But what this is going to do is it's going to allow us to have some pixels there when we start using this brush, the smoke brushes. Then we'll have something for it to like show. So I'm going to extend it almost all the way up, and then you can hit OK, and then it'll apply that there. It looks a little crazy. And here's another thing too. If we were like, you know what, I want to take it all the way out to the end, you can still go back. You can go filter, liquify, and then the filter comes up. I'm not going to worry about freezing her face this time because now I'm just going here, and you can adjust it again, which is kind of cool. And then click OK. So then it'll apply it again. Look at that. All right. So now let's go to what we're going to do, same kind of technique. I'm going to hold Alt, and then I'm going to add a layer mask. Okay, so it covers that. And then now what we can do is go to the back to my brush, and let's go ahead and get the let's go to my window, go to my brush settings. Okay, scroll all the way down to those smoke brushes. It's kind of big. Remember the angle. Okay, so make it smaller, and now I gotta flip it around. Let's move this over so you can see what's going on. Okay, black. So my brush or my mask is black. It's covering everything. So I need to be working with white to reveal some stuff. Whoa. Okay, so now look at that. We're starting to get this brown. Now, what's going on there? Let's go ahead and address that issue. So I'm just going to go to my move tool so I don't have that big brush up. What I can do now is I'm going to click on the gradient map and and I'm going to hold Shift. I'm going to highlight those two layers, and then I'm just going to grab them and drag them down here and let go, and it duplicated those, and I'm just going to bring them up above. And the thing I want to do here, I want to hold Alt. I want these to just be affecting this layer, so I'm going to hold Alt, and you'll see that when I do that and I go in between the layers, this creates a clipping mask. So it's only applying it to that layer and not everything below it. So let me do it with this one as well. And so now let's go back to my brush, and now when I go to my, okay, I'm on my mask with my brush, and now I can keep kind of bringing in that smoke. So now we've got those extra, pixels in the back where we can create this smoke effect. And each time you're clicking on the mask and you're using the smoke brush, maybe go back, and these brushes are all a little different. So grab the next one. It'll create more variation. You don't want to just have the same thing going on all the time, because it won't look natural. And let's experiment with some other brushes as well. I know I did that in my previous project. Some of these, yeah, those are going to be too patchy. Okay. Some splatters. That's kind of interesting. Now that's not smoke, but some splatters, kind of fills in some stuff. Smoke and splatters. I do realize I did that with my last one. Okay. Okay, so another thing you can do here, this is one of the last steps, go to our levels here, and remember to hold Alt, clip it here,